Hello, everyone. It is finally happening. This is episode 1 of Liz Plays Elnard, the English patch. You may know this game as the Seventh Saga, which is the English version that was ported over. It is a JRPG, and I've been wanting to do a Let's Play of the Seventh Saga because it's a game that means a lot to me. It was one of my first video games ever that I ever played. So it was one that I wanted to do, but it's sort of, I think, miserable to watch, and also kind of miserable to play. When this game was ported over to North America, uh, it got changed to be brutally difficult. And for a sort of straightforward JRPG, that meant that the difficulty is uh, kind of front loaded on a bunch of grinding you have to do, right? You go town to town and you get a new batch of harder enemies, and you have to spend, no exaggeration, probably multiple hours like per like new batch of enemies leveling up so that you can move on to the next thing. I am not exactly sure if what happened was the enemies were like buffed really hard or if the player character was nerfed really hard. Maybe both. Another issue with the Seventh Saga is that there are a couple, spoilers, a couple of parts in the game where you have to fight one of the other playable characters. And I think that the other playable characters are scaled as they were in Elnard, and your character is maybe nerfed really hard, so they are just like really like roll of the dice type battles where you can get really unlucky and have to fight these guys like a bunch of times, hoping like your playable character is going to like do a dodge or something like that. So you can really get stuck at those parts. So instead of playing the Seventh Saga, I'm playing Elnard, which is the original version with an English patch. I've never played Elnard. There's some other little differences, mostly to do with like censorship of the game. There's like a character that gets like a loincloth because he looks sort of naked, stuff like that. But I guess we'll go right into it. I will I will say right here at the top, I don't know if I'm going to finish this game. This is a really long game. I assume it's like significantly shorter in the Elnard version, but it's a little monotonous, I would say. But I do want to give you all a taste of the game. I know I've talked about it a lot on my podcast, which is probably where you know me from. So here it is. Here is Elnard. Many years ago, people fought fierce battles to win this land. These heroic battles inspired many legends. This is one of those stories that will be talked about for generations to come. Someday people will forget these legends, leaving only scars upon the planet's surface. The planet referred to in this story is called Tichondra. This is so strange for me just because I have played so much of the Seventh Saga, which has like a completely different logo. It's like a 7 on a tombstone. I'm not really sure what it means, but this is a little uncanny for me to be playing a game that is so similar but slightly different. Also, the like menuing, like select sound that it makes is different. So there are a lot of changes. This character here that is a demon, has a different color palette in Elnard, and also I would say the face looks a little bit more like goat like in Elnard, so that's presumably like a satanic panic kind of censorship in the English version. We're gonna be the elf character. Yes, we are gonna play the girl. She's also pretty strong. Um, she's a magic user. You've trained well in the past 5 years. Finally, the time has come to test your skills and knowledge. Your mission is to find the 7 runes hidden somewhere on the planet Tekondra. When you have all the runes together, they will give you tremendous power and you will become the leader of this world. King Lamel, tell us more about the runes. That's presumably our character's voice. They exist in many different forms and it is difficult to identify them. I'll give each of you a crystal ball. It will help you find the runes. Now get ready for the journey and bring the runes back. Each hero received a crystal ball. It's very funny. The runes take different forms. We never find out what they are. Spoilers. This character here is the one that got a loincloth. This is sort of our chance to talk to the other playable characters, so we'll do that real briefly. I don't work with anyone. When I get the runes, I'll be more powerful than King Lamel. I'm a warrior and the best suited for this mission. I'll prove it when I find the runes. This is kind of the balanced character. In a lot of the guides and things, it's like he's just like the knight and he's the beginner character. I'm the strongest of us all. I'm a bit slow due to my age, but I'll be young again when I have the power of the runes. My strength is the magic power of healing. My goal is to find the runes and drive all evil forces out of the world. I'm wondering why Legis is involved with this mission. My body will transform when I need a weapon. I don't need a weapon for this mission. During this journey, I wish to find who built us Tetujins. I believe that's like maybe a Japanese word that means robot. I could just like be completely wrong about that, but I don't know how to pronounce it. And for what purpose? I don't need any weapons or armor since I have great physical strength. I can't imagine the power I might have when I get the runes. This naked fellow here is supposed to be an alien, for what it's worth. The color palette of this castle is slightly different in Elnard. I'm not gonna talk to all the NPCs. Most of them don't have a whole ton to say. The lore is pretty bare bones in this game. It pretty much is what it is on its face. We're looking for the 7 runes that hold great power. We don't really know what that power is, or what they look like, and we never will really find out. I don't think there's a chest in here. This is another game. I talked about this a little on my Quest 64 playthrough that I think feels very spooky to me because it is so sparse in story and lore. Are you the last person to go? Everybody else has already left for Reblesk in the south. Here's a funny little interaction. Looking at the fountain made you feel better. I think it might heal you a little bit. Not positive though. The color palette change is really getting to me. We don't have any money yet, but we will want to buy some upgrades before we go to the next town. I have no idea how much easier this game is going to be compared to the 7th Saga. Just trying to get some idea of how much money we need. Use defense before attack when you are in a battle. This way your HP will temporarily increase. Remember, defense first, then attack. This circle in the left-hand corner is our crystal ball, and you can sort of avoid the enemies that you see as the dots on the map there. So you defend and you attack, and that's the game. We are a magic user, so I will be spamming magic attacks on these guys. As you can see, they do a lot more damage. And we will see if we get stronger faster than I expect here. I'm already kind of like falling into the habit of defending and attacking, which I don't need to do. I'm a mage, so that is not necessary. The color palette is the same out in the overworld, for what it's worth. You can kind of see how I can avoid the enemies or run into them on purpose. You can go, as you're traveling on the overworld, you can really like miss the random battles like pretty effectively, although they will catch up to you eventually. And obviously you need to grind, so you can't just avoid everything. We are almost out of mana. I'm very curious what people think of the like battle, this like thing that happens when you get in a battle and it like swirls the camera around and shows you from this perspective. I thought it was super cool when I was a kid, but it is pretty silly. So I believe these numbers that we're getting for that level up are significantly higher than what you get in the 7th Saga. I do not have enough magic power. The game does have crits, that two sword indicator attack. So I could stop this series right now because this is the game. There isn't very much more to it other than seeing the different enemy sprites and such. I don't know why I don't remember where the inn in this town is. The door sounds are different in this game. It's gonna be like the whole the whole episode is me being like, oh, the carpet is a different color in this room, or like, oh, the door sound is different. I guess we could try to travel to the next town. What I don't know is if it has the same armor and weapon options as the first town. In the 7th Saga, you really do have to grind here or you could die. But I think that we might be set with our level 2, whereas we might otherwise not be. But we seem stronger than I would expect. I'm enjoying a nice cup of coffee with my Elnard this morning. It is Sunday morning when I'm recording this, so having a chill time, playing some video games on Sunday morning. We will be just fine getting to this next town. It's very close by. Another funny thing about this game is, we'll get to it, but the map that is in the game is essentially useless. This is a game where I super have to use outside resources to actually progress through it and figure out where I'm going. The carpet's different in this room. I'd like to know why. Like, I understand the censorship. I even, to some extent, understand the difficulty changes. You know, if they perceive that a certain demographic wants a more challenging game, you know, so be it. But the color palette change is really, really strange. Okay, so these guys should have the same items from the first town. Yep. So our micro goal here is to get some levels and buy that armor and the weapon, and then we will go to the first dungeon. The thing that I am not doing is talking to the NPCs. I will go back and talk to a couple of them when we go back into town, so that we can get a taste of the story that I'm not really giving you. Level 3, wonderful. Lots of stats that we're getting. Generally, good rule of thumb before I go into the first dungeon is to get to level 5 in the 7th Saga. But maybe we can do it a little earlier in this one. Because we will be fighting these big bugs and those birds for a long time. If we go down here, we can fight a new enemy. So let's see if we can find some of those. I think they have maybe a little bit more experience. But we could also fight 3 enemies. Yeah, these things. We could fight 3 enemies at a time, which might be trouble, but we seem pretty strong. So we're getting about 33 experience points. We have 174 left to go, so that's some leveling for you. I've played the 7th Saga a lot of times. But I've only ever beaten it once. It is an endurance test of a game. My most recent playthrough, I probably got, I don't know, 20 hours in maybe, and I just hit a wall where I just knew that I was gonna have to grind enemies for maybe hours. To progress any further. I love the music, though. We're out of mana, so we will need to do this attack defend routine. We will, so in the game, of the 7 playable characters that there are, you get to pick one to be in your party with you. I will be picking Legis the demon because Asuna and Legis is my my OTP. It's probably not ideal. I think Lux is pretty good, the robot. Valsu, the healer, is also a good choice, although I don't know how good he is with the mage character, because you're really like squishy and have some mana issues, although I believe that the priest character gets a spell later that is just like restores all of your health and mana, so he can just do that forever. So unless you get one hit, you're fine. There are one hits in this game. Maybe not an Elnard, we shall see. Okay, so we are one level short of what I typically will do before going into the first dungeon, but we're gonna test the difficulty here. Our penalty for dying, I believe, is half of our gold, which is kind of rough, I suppose. Because oh, I was gonna get the armor before I went in. Pyson, a bounty hunter, has been looking for you. Watch out. I need to deliver the medicine to Bonro in the south, but the Gate of Earth is closed and I can't get there. So we're learning a little bit about the story. The traveler who left for Erin to get the Key of Earth has not returned. The castle has been a hideout for monsters ever since Romus arrived there. What shall we do with him? I can't travel to buy tools and equipment because the Gate of Earth is closed. I wish someone would take the Key of Earth away from Romus. So I think that talking to those NPCs gives us a full picture of what we need to do. Let's just buy the armor. And we don't plan on really attacking with our sword anyway. So I'm not gonna worry about that. Probably need some potions. And I'm trying to decide if we're just gonna make a beeline for the boss. I guess we shouldn't run out of gold just in case we need to go to the inn. I'm gonna go into the dungeon and see how we do against the random enemies and decide from there. But we do need potions for the boss. And mana restoring items. After playing so much Quest 64, it's like so nice to be able to go to a shop and buy potions, even if this is one of those games where you are a little restricted by gold. Lux, the robot character, I think he mentioned it when we talked to him, doesn't use weapons, so he gets to save on a lot of gold because of that. Okay, so we seem to be doing fine against these enemies, although once we run out of mana, which we certainly will because our mana pool is pretty low, we might be in some trouble. We are pretty weak to the enemies. But we're lucky because we just one-shot them with our magic. I'm going to spend a little bit of time in here. I think I went the wrong way. I'm gonna spend a little bit of time in here seeing if I can pick up some items out of treasure chests and maybe get that last level from these enemies. And then I'm going to go back to town, buy some potions, and then we're gonna come back and fight the boss. That is the plan as it is now. I know how to get to the boss, like pretty well, but what I don't ever remember is where the chests are. And there's no dungeon maps in this game. I've told the story on the podcast, but this is the game that, yeah, see, our like basic attack is so bad. This is the game that I found out about game FAQ guides, because as a kid I would get really stuck because there's a part in the game that Asuna, the elf character, can't progress past the usual way. So all of the NPCs basically give you the wrong clues to move forward, and we'll see that if we get to that part and are still playing this game. And my mom, and we didn't have a computer at home. We wouldn't have at that time. So like the idea of looking something up or having any avenue of finding out information was just completely like something that I just didn't even consider. But I would hit this wall in the game and just couldn't progress forward, and I played so much of it. And my mom, who had I think I can use this. Oh. My mom brought me home a like printed game FAQ guide from work. That was how I progressed forward and beat the game. And there are a few other like hard parts where you just sort of have to know what to do. The game doesn't really give you any clues about it. So that's the origin of game FAQs to me. I'm a little lost now because I was like going after these chests and I don't think I have any mana potions, so we might actually be in a little bit of trouble here because I wasn't really paying attention to where we were going. And our basic attacks are so weak against these guys. 67 experience points toward leveling up. And this is our last Ice 1 cast here. We can escape battles. It doesn't work 100% of the time, and I would say that the percentage of time that it works is pretty low. Crap, where am I going? So we do have a potion, and I think we're close to the exit. We have a spell that will steal magic power, mana, but it has a very low success rate, and I don't think that we can afford to gamble on that failing, and I don't even know which enemies have mana. Okay, so we have a few potions, and we're right at the exit, so we'll make it out of this. That's the mana stealing thing that it just tried to do to me, but I don't have any mana for it to steal. So the hard part about this is going to be getting to the boss and still having mana. Be our challenge here. It's probably worth picking up the weapon from the shop to make our regular attacks a little beefier. But we have leveled. And I still am just like shocked by how much higher you roll stats than you do in the 7th Saga. As you can see, leveling up does not restore your HP or mana. And look how little gold we have. I don't remember how much our weapon was, but I think it is more expensive than what we have to spend. And like even this stuff is so expensive for what we have in our bank here. So we do need to spend some more time fighting enemies because we're gonna need this item called B Power, and we're gonna need an item that is actually from the first town that I forgot to pick up. So I'm going to do that right now. Hopefully we'll get enough gold on our way to grab that. They are defense and power buffing items that at least in the 7th Saga are mandatory for fighting bosses. Which is kind of cool. I feel like there's that thing in JRPGs and RPGs in general that's sort of a joke where it's like you don't use any items because you never know when you might need them, and then you end up at the end of the game with like a million potions and a million buffing items because you never needed them. But this game, you really have to use all of your resources. So we do not have enough gold to do this. And do I have anything I can sell? I guess I can sell this weapon that I can't use. Now we can pick up our B Power. The gems in this game, the opal, etc., or I guess jewels, exist for you to buy and sell for gold. Like, you buy them and sell them for the same amount of gold. And the thing about having them in your inventory is that when you die, it doesn't take any of your jewels. So you can, it's like a bank that you can buy items, and then if you die, you have jewels that you can sell instead of losing half of your gold, which is a sort of funny system. Although if I die, I simply won't die. How about that? I don't know if I will make episodes of this on a schedule like I'm doing for Quest 64. This might be the series that, like, episodes go up when I get to them. But we'll see. I am honestly impressed with myself for having talked almost exclusively about this game this entire time when there's nothing really to talk about. But I recorded 3 episodes of Quest 64 yesterday, so I'm all out of anecdotes. $15 gold per enemy. That's brutal. We have 218 experience points left until the next level, which is significant for enemies that only give us like 26 experience. We can go into the castle and fight enemies there, although they don't even really give that much more experience. Later on in the game, there are enemies called brains, and they are the like highest experience, like bang for your buck. So you spend a lot of time like grinding the brains in once you get to them. We're just chilling right now. Nothing wrong with doing a little bit of level grinding. I think that Like, don't quote me on this because I could be wrong, but when we went to that one chest, it might have had a different item than I would have expected. So the items might be different in this game. I'd just be totally wrong. Just gonna see if I can get this chest real quick. So we could use some potions and things. Also, was it literally the empty chest that we got before? No? How do we get down there? Yeah, we're only gaining like 2 extra XP for these enemies versus the birds and the like weird demon creature. So how much, like, these things can kill us much more easily than those, so it's not that efficient. Though we can just like sort of spend our mana pool. Trade it for experience points. Once again, I am exploring and I don't actually know how to get out, so if our mana gets low, we might start to be in trouble again. Okay, so just a jewel that we can sell for gold, which is fine, because we can maybe get that weapon that we want. Although, because we're not really interested in our basic attack, it really might be more worth to just pick up potions and then go fight the boss. It's kind of a low roll on our magic, which is all we care about. I talked a little bit on my Quest 64 series, but will now repeat myself, is that I was really having the MMO itch, because I've sort of fallen out of playing WoW, and I am sort of stuck in this trap of feeling like I'm too far behind. Like, everyone else has their tier set, which if you're not a WoW player is like, once you get like items that are part of a set and you put them all together, you just like get way stronger, because your class will just behave differently for the most part, and your DPS just goes through the roof, ideally. That's probably an exaggeration, it's not that serious, but I get really mopey because I'm like, I took some time off of WoW and now I'm like, everybody has their tier set and I don't have my tier set. I'm so far behind. I'm gonna have to go into these dungeons and not have tier, which is so sad. And I'm gonna do less damage than everyone. So I was like, okay, I will simply play a different MMO. I've never played Final Fantasy, so I will pick that one up. And I got to like level 12 or something like that, and I had this moment where I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I have played WoW for hundreds of hours. Why why am I playing a different MMO? It makes no sense. Also, if my concern about WoW is that I'm too far behind, how is playing an MMO that I've never played before and have no idea what's going on, not just me getting even further behind than I otherwise would be. So I'm back to World of Warcraft, and we'll be in some noob dungeons, trying to grind out my items. I don't have a WoW group right now, so it's just all pugging all day long, just randos in group finder, which is such a mixed bag. I do think that, like, reading the World of Warcraft subreddit and, like, the forums, which are a joke, by the way, I don't know why I read them, there's, like, this perception that the game is, like, super toxic and that pugging, you just get, like mega toxic people, and that hasn't really been my experience at all. Like, you just occasionally will get that person who is just, like, completely out of pocket, so angry about everyone in the world, and is just a miserable person to play with. But that's so, like, few and far between. For the most part, like, every, like, pug run that I've done in World of Warcraft, everyone is just, like, completely silent, saying nothing. Everyone is just there for the same reason, to clear the dungeon, and you get to the end, and sometimes you'll get some GGs in the chat, and that's about it. Okay, we're gonna buy some potions. And some M-Herb 1, which I assume means magic herb, and that is what restores our mana. You can only, at least in the 7th Saga, you can only carry 9 of each item. As you can see, sorry, you can't take more than what you already have, which is 9. Oh, and we need this bee protect. I have no idea what the bee stands for. I shouldn't buy more than I, excuse me. I should not buy so that I have less gold than it takes to stay at the inn. I think I'm just gonna go for it. I think our biggest question mark here is the mana potion that we only have like 3 of. But we'll see. If it's looking a little sketchy, I will just turn around and leave the dungeon. Because I don't want to, I mean, I guess it's not a big deal to lose half my gold because I don't have very much of it. And I believe that you retain the experience points that you have, so that's also not an issue. We're gonna run straight to the boss. We'll see if I can, it's been a little while. We should pick up chests. I was gonna say that I do have the run to the boss pretty well memorized, and I don't have where the chests are memorized, but that's fine. We gotta get some items. It'll be good for us. I don't think there's any mimics in this dungeon. I want the chests. There are mimics in the game, at least in the 7th Saga. They are like brutally difficult. They will 100% one-shot you. So as a kid, I would never touch any chests. Like, it's so silly saying it, but that's such like kid logic, right? Like, you're like, some of these chests just like insta kill you because they have an enemy that one-shots you, so I just won't collect any chests. So I have all these like routes to the bosses memorized, because you would like, the strat was to just like level enough to fight the boss and then try to avoid as many random battles as possible. We're gonna see how far we can get just basic attacking. It seems not too bad anymore, because we want to conserve our mana. Just having a sip of coffee here. It is now cold. There's nothing wrong with cold coffee. Well, room temperature coffee. Sometimes when I let the coffee get cold, I just put some ice in it and have some iced coffee. Yeah, it's probably not obvious to anyone who has not played the 7th Saga, but this version is like significantly easier. That's a very funny runaway animation. They skitter away. It's a beautiful day outside. I'm gonna have to go for a little walk around the neighborhood. Seed is like a base stat increaser, but I'm gonna save that because I believe it could be protect, but I think it's power, and because we're not auto attacking with our mage at all, we're gonna save it for Legis when we get him. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go for a walk today. I recently have started exercising. I'm a little bit ashamed to admit that I have been living like a completely sedentary lifestyle for probably the last like 5 to 10 years. Like, really, you know, they say sitting is the new smoking, you know, and it's just like, I sit and play video games, and I go to work and sit at an office chair all day. So I had the opportunity to buy like a secondhand treadmill, so I got that all set up in the garage, and have started running. And by running, I mean power walking and power walking and jogging for about a minute before my shins hurt so bad that I have to stop. I'm really taking a while to warm up to it and get my muscles back to working order. But because I was like having this shin pain, I don't want to like overdo it and get shin splints and have it like slow my progress. So I'm taking a couple days off, and the plan is to use the treadmill like four days a week. But I like sort of miss doing it. Like, I think I'm getting a lot of good like mood benefits from exercising. So I'm gonna go out and have a normal walk today, because it's beautiful outside. It's probably probably really hot and actually not very pleasant. Yesterday was one of those days where like the wind was hot. The wind did not feel like a cool breeze. It was just like the air is just too hot. So we seem to be sustaining pretty well in this dungeon. We are not becoming, like our resources are not becoming strained, so I think we should be good to just go to the boss. It's gonna be so hard for me not to save scum this game because it makes it so much easier to just like, you know, excuse me, save state like in front of the boss. Because sometimes you just win because your character dodges out of the way, and sometimes you just lose to some like unlucky the enemy dodging out of the way. Now this is a great situation because we can just top off our, well, I had only taken 2 damage, so that probably wasn't that efficient, but just use a potion and then grab a new one. Now what I would love to see is a magic herb. I do say herb, I don't know why I said herb just now. Just mixing it up. Are the menu sounds really annoying? They're different, like I said, from the 7th Saga, so they really stand out to me. So I think that's 100 gold. An opal sells for. Oh, that's the worst thing that could happen, is having some mana stolen. That's all we really care about having is mana for the boss. But here we are. So we will use a magic herb. We'll check our HP. We will use a potion. We're level 7. So we should be good. You might recognize this from my Twitter header. It's the Gur from this, I believe the story is that this was a, like the pet dog of the person from this castle, and then the person died and the dog turned haunted or something like that. I don't know if did we talk to an NPC that said that Romus is a dog? As you can see, it does not look anything like a dog. Like not even a little bit. So I don't know, who knows? Maybe I'm just wrong. We're gonna use our Be Protect, which is going to increase our defense power so we don't get one shot. That is the HP suck equivalent to the magic one. Now we did raise our power because it's like a habit of mine, but we ideally will not be using it. I can't decide whether I want to use Ice 1 or Ice 2. I don't usually have Ice 2 at this point in the game, and I think that it has a little bit of like diminishing returns as far as like mana per DPS, and we don't want to run out, but I am going to test it and see how much more damage it does. Okay, never mind. This game is like way easier than... I take it all back. This Elnard is a joke compared to the 7th Saga. Never mind. That was extremely easy. The Curse of Romus is gone. Soon I found the Key of Earth. So now we leave. There's no map in the game, so we just have to remember where we came from. I'm laughing about how easy that was. Usually you do like 10 damage to him, a spell or whatever. I feel like I hyped everyone up for like a challenging boss fight. All right, so we're gonna save, and that'll be our first episode here because we did it. We beat the first boss, and next stop we'll go to a cave to open the Gate of Earth so that the merchants and such can travel. Oh, I actually forgot one thing that we have to do. We have to start a side quest to receive the worst map in any video game ever. Go to the tavern here. Talk to this person who has a cool cape. I'm Gain. I came from Bonrow to take care of my business here. I'm stuck now because the Gate of Earth is closed. Will you help me? If you open the gate, I will give you this map to show my appreciation. The map has magical powers and it will always show you where you are. Your journey will be easier with the map. Will you do it? It's a deal. You can trust my word. So yeah, next time we have that to look forward to, where we get the worst map in video game history. But other than that, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.